3 years ago, my father hissed, "You're dead to us." The words sliced deeper than any knife. They stripped me of my name, my wealth, hell, even my face. My family buried me alive in silence, and in my place they crowned a stranger. Tonight, under the neon glow of Tokyo's rain-soaked streets, I stepped into my own funeral. The coffin? Empty. "Miss me?" I whispered, peeling off my mask. The screams began, and I got ready to speak. It started the night of the will. My father, cold, iron-blooded, the man who built empires with a single threat, looked at me as though I were nothing. He said my name like it was poison, then carved it off the family records. I remember my brother's smirk, the way my mother looked away, the way the boardroom applauded when the papers were signed. In that moment, I ceased to exist. But I didn't fight back, not then. I listened, I watched, I let the silence bury me. There was a time I believed in them. I bled for them. I still remember my brother and I in the garden as children. He would stumble, and I'd lift him. He would cry, and I'd protect him. Blood first, always blood, we used to swear. But years turned his oath into hunger. He wanted my seat, my name, the fortune. And my father? He wanted an heir who wouldn't question him. Together, they tore me apart until I wasn't even a shadow of the man they erased. Or so they thought. I began to notice the seams in their empire months after exile. A file left open on a secure server. A signature on an account that wasn't my father's. A face in a mirror that wasn't mine but wore my name. My brother hadn't just stolen my inheritance, he had stolen me. Plastic surgeons reshaped him into a grotesque echo of my face. My father presented him to the world as me, polished, obedient, perfect. The family had resurrected a counterfeit. I should have been shattered. Instead, I laughed, quietly, bitterly. If they wanted to replace me with an imposter, then I would return as a ghost. Revenge requires patience. It requires stillness while the fire inside eats through your ribs. So I went to work. I built a new face, one no one would recognize. I vanished into Tokyo's underworld, trading favors, collecting debts, buying silence. The city taught me how to disappear, how to stalk. I hacked their accounts, followed their allies, sat in restaurants behind mirrored glass, watching my brother parade around as me. He wore my smile, my suits, even my scars. But what he couldn't wear was my mind, and that was his mistake. Piece by piece, I dismantled the foundation beneath them. I fed quiet leaks to journalists, hinting at fraud. I bought out their most loyal men, one secret at a time. I whispered into the ears of rivals, and soon the empire my father built began to bleed from the inside. Meanwhile, I carved out my own empire, smaller, sharper, hidden. Every yen, every favor, every silence pointed toward one night. The night I'd return to the world they stole from me. Tonight. They called it a memorial, an extravagant performance to remind the city that I was still alive in spirit, that their chosen son carried my bloodline forward. The irony made me smile. Rain poured over Tokyo, smearing neon across the pavement. Guests arrived in black silk, murmuring condolences. At the front of the hall, an empty coffin waited. My brother stood at the podium, my father beside him. Both wore grief like masks, selling the story that the real me had finally died in exile. That's when I walked in. The crowd parted like water as I stepped forward. I wore the mask I'd crafted, smooth, expressionless, faceless. The coffin loomed behind me, gaping open, a stage. I climbed in, laid still, then sat up. Gasps rippled through the hall. My brother froze mid-sentence. My father's glass slipped from his hand. With one slow motion, I peeled the mask away. Miss me? The first scream broke, sharp and shrill. My brother stuttered. No, I cut him off. You're me, or at least you tried to be. I turned to the crowd. Look closely. Look at the face they sold you. A mask carved from my flesh. They buried me alive, replaced me with a counterfeit, and feasted on my silence. I tossed documents into the air, bank records, medical files, photos. Proof rained down like confetti. Every guest reached for scraps, eyes widening, whispers multiplying. My brother lunged at me. I sidestepped. Careful, I said, the ground beneath you is already gone. Because while they stood there gaping, their accounts were being drained. The companies in their names were collapsing. Their allies had already turned. I hadn't just come for their faces, I came for their future. My father sank into his chair, hands trembling. His empire was ashes in real time, his name shredded into scandal. My brother screamed, clawing at the papers, as though he could stop the fall with bare hands. I looked at them, once gods, now just men stripped bare, and felt nothing but clarity. I died once, I told them,